Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the action in the 2007 Philippines World Pool Championships. Presented by San Miguel and Cadcor, sanctioned by the WPA, promoted by Matchroom Sport and Rio Sports, and live on ESPN and Sky Sports. We're ready for the action. A race to 10. Winner breaks. Referee Michaela Tab, and now time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, Mabuhay Pilipinas! It's Django Francisco Bustamante! And ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the Netherlands, it's El Nino, Nick Vandenberg.
So here we go then with the last match of this round of 32. And it's two good ones. Bustamante versus Nick Vandenberg. The winner gets a shot at Alex Pagulayan. This place will be standing room only if it's a matchup between Pagulayan and this man here, Django Bustamante. Immensely popular in his homeland and a really genuinely good guy as well. Made a final once upon a time of the World Championship. Never been the winner. Came through the qualifying easily enough, the group stages, and then smashed David Alcaide of Spain 10-1. We've had quite a few lopsided scorelines in this year's World Championship. That was one of them. And here is one of this very strong Dutch contingent, El Nino himself, young Nick Vandenberg, trying to beat one of two Dutchmen to make it to the last 16, Niels Feyen being the other one, and he dispatched England's Imran Majid in the round of 64, having come through his group stage as well. Well, we have one Dutchman on the TV table. We have another Dutchman in the commentary box, no doubt hoping to see the name of Nick Vandenberg placed against Alex Pagulayan's name in the round of 16. We're talking about Alex Lely, of course. Alex, good evening. Glad you could join us. And a little bit biased in this one, or are you just going to call it as you see it?
No, definitely, Nick. I'm rooming with Nick Vandenberg, and it's been a long day waiting for this match. And Nick definitely is ready. He's produced real good form in this tournament, but of course Django has as well. And winning the leg is a big thing.
Who's won it? Ooh, it's kicked on a little bit from... yeah. Just kicked off the rail a little bit there from Bustamante, so that's a vital first blood there for Vandenberg, because as we've seen, if you get your break right on this table, you can stay on this table for a long, long time.
Yeah, and Django has been playing very well in this tournament, but the thing is, there's so much pressure on him here in Manila. Orculo's out, Corteza's out, Efren out, Alcano's out, Gallego, Andam, De Luna.
Race to 10 racks.
A lot of pressure on him.
Vandenberg to break.
And whilst a lot of people will make Vandenberg the underdog in this one, worth pointing out he has a pretty good record against Bustamante overall.
Yes, he has a positive record.
That may be the softest break of the entire competition. That wing ball just drifted in, and he's had no luck because the one pin was good. Look at that. There it goes. Very nicely controlled break.
Well, I think he's able to see the one. Yes, he can make the one ball, and he now has to try and figure out how to line up for the 2-4 combination shot. Nick is not a big breaker, but he's a very smart breaker. In all the tournaments, he's pretty quick figuring out how to break the balls, as he did here. The only thing when you break so soft, balls are not going to open up as well as when you break hard.
Is this 2-4 on, do you think?
It's on. It's definitely on, and he will take it on. Very close to each other, not lined up straightly towards the pocket, so he has to cut the 2-ball into the 4-ball.
Just like that now. Where's that 2-ball off to?
Yeah, he did not try to figure out good position for the 2-ball. He focused on making the 4. That shows you his experience. The last time they met was in the semi-final of the World 8-Ball Championships in the United Arab Emirates. And Nick Vandenberg was the winner there. I have to say Django definitely is a more skillful player. But this game is all mental.
Well, this is a very encouraging start for the Dutchman.
Yeah, Nick qualified easily, playing a nice 2-way shot here. Playing an offensive shot with the safety included. And this is perfect opener, and he's looking really fluid. He's not showing any jitters.
I was going to ask you, this crowd, and it is a packed crowd, they're not anti anybody, but they are so pro the Filipino players. We'll talk about Bustamante now. He'll cope with that when he's up at the table. But will it affect Nick Vandenberg that he basically doesn't have a friend in the house, and there's 700 or 800 people now looking at him saying, "Go on, miss it."
On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, no. It depends. If you're playing well, it thrives you to play better. And if you're not feeling comfortable, it'll only make you feel worse.
Well, he's playing well. Right now, he's keeping this crowd pretty quiet.
There's a lot of angle, though. Will he be able to draw the cue ball enough to avoid contact with the 9? It's a slick cloth, brand new Simonis. Great strike. Played it without outside English. Center draw. Then the cue ball grabs the spin quicker. So this is really a great first rec. He had a nice massage in the room 2 hours ago in the hotel. That's when I left him.
So he's nice and loose?
Nice and loose.
Wasn't you giving him the massage, I hope?
No, we're good friends, but not that good.
Well, whoever did give him the massage, they've earned their money, because Nick Vandenberg looks very relaxed, very loose, very together. And a good little run out. That was the toughest shot. Another tough one after that. This bank. Played the percentages. Came up a winner. So first blood in this race to 10 to the Dutchman.
I'm sure a
Second rack, Nick Vandenberg
big stimulation to Nick is that all the Europeans are playing well in this tournament. And in the last 16 we have Daryl Peach, Harold Stolka, Wilmus Vulders having beaten Shane Van Boning, Stepanov beat De Luna, Feyen beat Ralph Souquet.
Mick Rimanen's in there.
Yes, it's a good year for Europe. And all the big names from Taiwan and Philippines are out. So another controlled break by Nick. Slightly harder this time. And no direct shot on the 1-ball available. A possible bank, but I think we'll see him go for either a carom on the 6 or the bank shot. Played in the same way as in the previous rack, with a slight defensive tendency.
Got his eye in here, hasn't he?
Wow, is he putting the pressure on?
You could almost hear this crowd. It was like, I've got to applaud that. I don't really want to, but that was one heck of a shot.
Yeah, Nick is such a big talent in this game. He hasn't practiced at all for the last 6 weeks because he moved into a new house with his wife Vanessa, and she's pregnant. Nick will become a father in 6 months. And then they had a Euro Tour last week where he finished 5th. He played great. Lost to Wilmus Vulders, who finished 2nd, but it comes to tell you how big a talent Nick is. Coming to the World Championship with no practice. He's now at center stage, showing what 9-ball is all about. Offense.
I like his timing around the table, Alex. You know him obviously very well. Is this his normal pacing? I mean, he's certainly not rushing. He's keeping Django in his chair, but he's not deliberately slowing anything down. He's just measuring every shot.
No, he always measures his tempo really well. In a tournament, for example, when I play him, he'll start out a little slow and then gradually speed up things, although I don't think he's going to speed up today. He's going to work the whole 10 racks or all the racks that may take him to win this match. If you play on table 1, it's not... You might not be nervous, but it's so much harder to concentrate the way you can in a regular tournament because of the crowds, the cameras, small noises. The Dutch crowds at home sitting in front of the telly.
He's got this cue ball on a thread right now.
I think he's going to use his own. Michaela Tepp asked him if he needed a rest. Oh, this is perfect. Cue extension, just like a snooker. Enables you to use a regular stroke.
Well, Django Bustamante is the man that they have come to see. Instead, this crowd is getting a Dutch masterclass right now. Nothing flash, just outstanding execution from Nick van den Berg. 2 breaks, 2 run-outs, no fluky shots, no lucky breaks, just world-class 9-ball. This one's not going according to the script, is it?
3, Nick van den Berg to break, leading by 2 racks to 0.
Well, talking about Christmas and Santa and all that kind of stuff, I know what this crowd would love for Christmas right now. A dry break from Nick van den Berg. But this man's been playing Scrooge thus far, and the meanness continues.
Well, we might see the same thing. A bank played as a shot to nothing.
It's almost an identical shot, isn't it?
The only thing, the 2-ball still on the table. So he has to travel more with the cue ball if he opts for an offensive shot. But I do think it's not possible to end bank the 1-ball and get the cue ball to travel around the 3, hiding behind the 4-6.
Well, everything he's executed and attempted thus far has come off beautifully, and the streak continues.
Yeah, did he prove me wrong? This is just about perfect. Great shot.
That's the thing I love about all these 9-ball players, yourself included, Alex. People sit here in a commentary box and they think, well, he can't do this, he couldn't do that, and then somebody just comes up and does it. You make it look so easy.
Yes, I think, speaking for the 2 Dutch icons, Niels and Nick, Niels excels in his execution and his shot making, and Nick, according to me, excels in his shot selection and his natural ability.
What about his concentration? Could he sustain this kind of level of intensity throughout the course of a long match?
Definitely, yes. Definitely.
It's got to be in his mind, of course, that with the table breaking the way it is, you just want as big a lead as possible as you can get over Francisco Bustamante, because anybody who knows anything about 9-ball knows what Django can do if he comes up to the table. So build the biggest cushion you can manage. And in fact, if you can run out 10-0, take it.
Yeah, Django has been running 6 and 7 racks in every match.
And of course, you know how Django feels right now. It was your misfortune to run into the red-hot Roberto Gomez in the round of 64. And you got splinters, didn't you, from spending that much time in the chair?
I got seat treatment by Roberto. He really played great, but most of all, I was the victim of the softer break on the television table. He made balls, had a clean position, and ran out a lot of racks. 7 out of 10 racks he ran.
And of course, you're in good company, because Chao Fong Pang has just been dispatched 10-1 as well by Gomez. So you're not alone, Alex.
In the meanwhile, Nick has overrun his position slightly. Shouldn't have, because he should have stayed on the other side of the 5-ball. Then he could have traveled the whole table without encountering any other ball. Now he has to deal with the 8 and 9. He can follow with left English, going around the table. 3 rails. That's the 3rd. He might have liked extra speed to get to the 4th, and there's 4 rails and a long tough shot on the 6-ball. Way tougher than it could have been, and that's pressure. And I think if you're playing the soft break as soft as Nick is doing, you're getting the balls all together, and you have to play all short, delicate little shots, and it's nicer to have slightly bigger shots, bigger strokes, hitting the ball a little firmer. So this is the first tester for Nick.
It is. What's the hardest part about this? The shot or the placement with the cue ball?
Placement of the cue ball. He wants to slide in between the 8 and 9. Delicate little stroke.
He's got the pot. Has he got enough of a gap to work that 8-ball?
Enough of a roll, I'll tell you this. He tried to slide in between the 8 and 9. He hit the 8-ball, but he's almost lined up straight towards the side pocket, so a shot still available.
Well, I guess that cue ball is going to whiz around the table a little bit off this, or is he going to give it where it is now? He's gone for the cheeky little stab.
So great pot on the 6-ball, lucky position on the 8, and the story continues. Some sign of discomfort from Nick Vandenberg though, and Django is waiting patiently.
Got himself out of a little hole, keeps control of the table, continues to march towards the magic number 10. He needs 7 more. The good news for Django Bustamante, a long way to go in this one.
So 3-0 for Nick Vandenberg, and a big incentive for all the European players performing so well here is that there's one spot open.
Nick Vandenberg to break, leading by 3 racks to 0.
Mosconi Cup played next month in Las Vegas. So the European player that gets the furthest in this championship gets to play the Mosconi Cup as well.
Well, there's still some healthy competition, as you say. A lot of Europeans marching on. The wing ball goes down again, and yeah, I think you can see that 1 ball.
This is better. He hit the ball slightly harder. 1 ball travels further, passes the side pocket, so he doesn't have to bank it in now. But he has to bridge over the 6. Key shot is going to be the 2 ball. well, maybe the one ball. If he strikes his one ball properly, bumps off of the long rail, sets himself up nicely for the two ball, gets shape on the four. That's going to be the deciding position in this rack. So this is it. This is the big shot. Of course, still a lot of work to do after pocketing the two ball.
There's the pot.
Traveling back and forth. Great shot. Great shot.
Well, again, the placement of that. Absolutely wonderful. A superb shot greeted in total silence.
Still, yes, he's going to get close to the 8 ball. If the adrenaline in his arm is there too much, that causes a firmer strike on the cue ball than preferred, and he might collide with the 8 ball. So this shot will show how good he's feeling.
Got to avoid the traffic. Well, you can feel the spirits in this auditorium sagging. I mean, Vandenberg is just playing some wonderful stuff right now.
Yeah, the silencer, we can call him.
He is tonight, isn't he? This is clinical so far.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him. He's playing really well. Previously, Niels beat Ralph Suke 10-1 or 10-2, and he was as clinical.
I think this is the big point about this stage, certainly of the competition, isn't it, Alex? With winner staying on. Everybody's a good player at this stage. You don't want to be giving an opponent any chance to get up to the table, do you? You've got to keep them nailed down in their seat if you possibly can. And I think that's why we're seeing a few lopsided scores. The players are getting in there and saying, I'm not giving that other guy a chance. If he gets up, I'm sitting down for a while.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. And now it's all concentration because Nick has had his time at the table. He's warmed up.
And he's just getting colder.
He's preparing. I remember his semi-final against Yang in 2002, I believe, the year that Earl Strickland won the championship. Django versus Yang in the semi-final. They ran 5, replied by 7, replied by 5, replied by 5 wrecks. Just run outs. Django can do it. Whenever he gets to the table, he's able to run the set out.
Contact on the 9 ball. Doesn't seem to have caused any problems, or does it?
No, absolutely not. He opted to contact the 9 ball. He read the angle on that shot perfectly. Great stroke. Showing a lot of knowledge and a lot of cool. And now when you're building that lead, when your inning becomes longer and longer and you're stringing rack by rack, for some reason you get more pressure because you're starting to think about that mistake. So now he has to read the contact on the 9 ball again.
This was what I was talking about with the concentration level of Vandenberg earlier to you, Alex, because there's an awful lot of mental and energy being exerted there, isn't there? Every shot. And I just wonder, and like I say, you know him better than me, how does he cope with that mental energy? How tough is he mentally?
He can be really tough, and he clearly is tough now. Because he has shown his presence here. Wow. I never thought he was going to miss that 9 ball. Great shot. Great shot. But he's really balanced lately, and I think that's because his responsibility as a soon-to-be father You know, he's 27 years of age. Maybe this year is his time.
Well, he's putting on a clinic in this round of 32 match. There's another one. A break and a run out. Bustamante, powerless. Look at this, 10 past 11 local time in the evening, barely a seat to be had.
Rack 5, Nick Vandenberg to break, leading by 4 racks to 0.
But a lot of the bodies in those chairs are slumped in their seats right now, just a little bit. They haven't been hanging around till gone 11 o'clock to watch Nick Vandenberg put nails into his opponent while he's sat in his chair, but that's what he's doing right now. There's another soft break. Now the one goes down this time. And finally, I think he's got an issue.
No shape. Not directly though. It's about, well, I like him going for a jump shot here. If he can reach it well enough with his bridging hand. That's what he's looking at right now. Yes, he will go for a jump shot, and he should. I say this is about even money.
Generally speaking, Europeans are not as competent with the jump as the Asians. What's this fellow like?
Competent.
Very diplomatic. We'll find out.
Even if he, you know, makes a legal jump shot, contacts the 3 ball and does not make it, he still has a big chance of getting a good roll. Because all the balls are down table.
Yeah, he might find a safe spot. He doesn't need a safe spot. Oh yes, he does. That's unlucky.
Well, I don't think.
yeah. Okay, so you got it once. Do it again.
He will not be able to reach this. Unlucky. Nice attempt though.
The escape is easy, but can he find a bolt hole off it? Look at that. Total eclipse.
We will not see him. I like him taking the other route. Hitting the long rail. Well, that's personal preference. I like using the 6 and 8 to snooker behind.
He's not lining up a long bank, is he?
No.
I mean, that would be outrageous, surely. But the way he's looking at his angles there.
I like this.
Now he's looking at plan B, yeah. Well, back to plan A.
He has a lot of knowledge. And he's just weighing the options. With a low ball, trying to keep the cue ball there. Nice shot.
But it will bring Django Bustamante to the table.
Great run by Nick Vandenberg. Tried to make the most of this rack and of this kick shot. Good attempt. And the pressure is on Django here.
Well, the good news for Bustamante is that he's not snookered. He can see the ball, but not a bad shift at all for Nick Vandenberg. Shows how important it is to win that lag, because Bustamante is under the gun already. He's been in that chair so long, he's probably forgotten how to play.
Well, these Filipinos do not forget how to play. I spent a lot of hours in local pool rooms here, and the level of play, even by anonymous players, is amazing. Great shot. Split the pocket. Great shot. Drew the ball. Nice stroke. And the thing everyone now thinks, what's going to happen?
What's coming next? Yeah.
Is this going to last 20 minutes?
Well, Vandenberg was at the table for 26 minutes. It's certainly not beyond this man to match that. And he may need to match it to make a contest of this. That's nicely done. That wraps up the rack. And Bustamante poised to get rid of that goose egg on the scoreboard there. His O will go. And I think you're going to hear a huge cheer of relief when this 9-ball drops. Because there's a lot of pent-up energy been building up in this crowd. And they want to let it go somewhere. You'll hear it. Welcome to the game, Francisco Bustamante. Still a long way to go in this one. 4-1, but Bustamante is up and running.
Thank you. Rack 6, Francisco Bustamante to break, trailing by 4 racks to 1.
And this is one of those results that you'll see on that show. Francisco's wife got here early enough to grab a seat. Soft break or something with a little bit more heat on it from Francisco?
Where's the cue ball going?
Where is that cue ball going? Is it going to put the brakes on? Oh! I didn't see it get kicked up there either. I think that went there of its own volition, in which case, yeah, look, no one to blame but himself. Lucky that it stayed on the table.
Yeah, he put draw on the cue ball. And this will make him feel the pressure, because if he does not figure out that break, he cannot reply. Nick's masterful display in the first 20 minutes of this match.
We're so busy watching the cue ball, and we failed to notice that 2 balls went down off that break.
Wow.
That'll do.
Took a lot of heart to take that shot on, dropping the 1 ball in at that weight.
I think it's safe to say that was probably the toughest shot of the rack. As you can see the 2, and then should be able to get comfortable position for the 3. Now it's Vandenberg's turn to check out the upholstery.
I think that was the toughest shot of the match. And the second toughest was the one that Bustamante got first on the 4 ball. So he's showing a lot of heart here. Playing for pride and honor in his home country.
And of course the possibility of a round of 16 match that will have them hanging from the chandeliers in this arena. Bustamante v Pagulayan. You might want to start queuing for that one tonight.
Two rails around the 6. A trace of inside English. Bad break of Bustamante, but greatly compensated by a shot on the 1 ball. This is a great match so far.
She's seen it all before. She's not getting carried away. Nor's Bustamante. Long way to go. But he's halved the deficit. And that was the shot that set it all up. Beautifully executed. So, 4-2. errors count 0 for both players. High quality 9-ball this. The interesting thing coming up now, Alex, what's he going to do with that cue ball off this break? Because he nearly
Rack 7,
lost it.
Francisco Bustamante to break, trailing by 4 racks to 2.
He has to focus on making a good clean stop shot on 1, or he can try and cut the cue ball into the long rail.
He switched sides.
No, he broke from this side on the previous rack.
Did he? Oh, okay.
Yes. Everyone's breaking from the right side.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Hello. Well, he did make an adjustment, and unfortunately, the adjustment produces our first dry break of the match. And perhaps that's a result of what happened earlier.
Wow.
So a dry break and Vandenberg with a clean look at the 1. A lot of traffic congregated down one corner of the table there, as you can see, bottom left as we're looking. So there's a few dots to be joined up in this rack.
His first good shape on a 2-ball, but then he's probably going to be on the wrong side of the 2. So after the 2 he's going to have to travel again to get position on the 3, and from the 3 to the 4 he has to go the full length of the table. So this rack is far from over and a lot of pool playing needed. He'll go back and forth toward the 9-ball. Great shot, great shot. He's on the wrong side of the 2-ball.
Yes, that's his problem. Getting onto that 3. Jammed up on the left-hand rail there.
Oh, I like that option. He was looking at a bank on the 3. That's nice. I mean, that makes positional play a lot easier. And he has showed his banking skills in the beginning of this match. But he chose an aggressive positional shot. Close to the 3, looks perfect.
Now, bearing in mind that that pink ball is way north, what's he got to do with this cue ball here?
He's getting his cue extension again, clearly, which comes in really handy now because he can still shoot the shot with a regular stroke. And I think he does not have too much angle to draw it back. Using low right English, that's perfect. That's perfect. This would be an awesome rack and a body blow to Django, who failed to make a ball in the break. He has to watch out for overhitting this shot though. The corner pocket cross table looms large.
Oh, didn't need that. Really annoyed. Twist of the extension. It's the old adage, when you make contact with another ball on the table, usually the outcome is bad, and that certainly wasn't what Vandenberg had dialed up there. It's thrown in a far greater degree of difficulty now.
He can take on the cut shot on the 4 balls, loading the cue ball up with side spin, which he's going to do. He's looking at the point of aim, point of contact on the 4. He's all offense today. And he should, because you don't win matches in the World Championships in the last 32 by ducking. But if you play this shot, if you spin that cue ball, it's going to swerve, it's going to bend. So you really have to time it well.
Just as he was going through that shot, there was a huge cheer from one of the outside tables. I wonder if that might have just had an impact on that shot.
On the other table, it's Corey Duell playing against Chang from Taiwan. So I wonder who has most fans in the crowd. That caused a big roar.
The timing was perfect from Bustamante's perspective. Gets him back up to the table. And with a chance to be the clean-up man. I think Nick van den Berg came into this match knowing it wasn't going to be an easy one. This is no surprise. Probably just be happy if you'd have given him a 4-0 lead. He'd have said, yeah, I'll take that, and then Bustamante can come up.
Yeah, and the thing is, for him to not think about the missed chance too much, because it was a great effort, it was a really tough rack. He built a 4-0 lead, just a buffer. And that's hard in professional pool, to not dwell on blown opportunities too much.
You do need a short memory in this game, don't you? Just as you've got to get rid of the bad smell from the miss, you don't want to be dwelling on how well you played a shot either. You just got to move on, haven't you?
Stay in the moment.
That's 3 pulled back. Well, he sat in his chair for 26 minutes. And when he got his chance, hasn't he done well with it? Bustamante has pulled to within 1. That's the one that went begging, just as the big cheer went up from the outside table. So, pick a winner now. Nick van den Berg still in front, but Bustamante right in his slipstream now and breaking.
Rack 8, Francisco Bustamante to break, trailing by 4 racks to 3.
That's still the one question mark in Bustamante's game at the moment. The break. The first break nearly got a scratch. The second break came up dry. So he hasn't quite got this table worked out yet. Let's see if it's third time lucky. Yeah, he just got it sorted out, I think. That's a textbook. Look where that cue ball is now.
Yes, great spread. And then it is ominous for Nick. If this guy figures out how to break on his table.
That cue ball barely moved. And the ball's arranged generously around the table. Nothing that will cause too much scratching of the head for Bustamante here.
4-ball passes to 8 and 9, so he can opt to roll the 3-ball in with a trace of inside English or spin around to 8 and 9. But he underhit the shot. Underhit the shot. He had all the room. And it's so difficult in this game when things are not going for you. Once they go for you, you make a mistake. Has to deal with the 5-ball here. If he plays this shot with a high ball on the cue ball, will he be able to avoid contact with the 5? Good strike. This builds confidence. If you lose position and then show mental strength by compensating, correcting your mistake, you become stronger and stronger. 4 balls away from evening the score at 4-all. It will be a race to 7. And what a match this is turning out to be. And Django has had a bad period, has not shown good form in a while, but this is a great display, and it's 4-all against Nick Vandenberg.
Well, they're loving it now, aren't they? They were kept quiet for nearly half an hour, but now they can give vent to their feelings. Bustamante starts to turn it on, level it up. After watching Nick Vandenberg put 4 wonderfully crafted racks together. And nobody's leaving this building anytime in a hurry. 4-4, it's become a race to 6.
Rack 9, Francisco Bustamante to break, 4 racks each.
Well, that last break was about as good as you could dial up. And if he can keep finding that consistently, as you said, Alex, that's bad news for your compatriot. Let's see if he can find another one of those. Well, not exactly the same, but I think he'll take that.
Oh, what can I say? He hit the 1 ball full on, stun draw, medium stroke. And he left himself really long on a 2 ball. A lot of work to do on this shot. He has to avoid the 7 ball, spinning around the angle. Short rail, long rail. And he needs an angle on the 3 ball.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, applause he gets for making the ball, but position is far from perfect.
Yeah, he said he needed angle. He's hardly got anything. It's getting up for that 4. That's the issue here.
Stun draw with loads of left English. Ah, great shot. Great shot. Actually, he did not put so much left on the ball. He played it with draw and really hard to make the cue ball first bounce into the rail and then have to draw, grab it.
A little 8-9 mel down there. I think the 8 passes bottom right. I'm sure Bustamante's took a look at it already. But if it does pass, Bustamante is on the threshold of his first lead of the match. And I suspect it might.
Taking his time.
Well, you know the fable about the tortoise and the hare, don't you? It's the hare that went off fast, but the tortoise played the long game. Nick Vandenberg went off like an express train here. Already he's been overhauled by the Django Express.
Quietly, please. There's other matches on.
5-4. This one is getting exciting. Some of us are having trouble containing our excitement. Engine Block knows all about it. Table number 1 is featuring this absorbing contest between Nick Vandenberg and Francisco Bustamante. On one of the outside tables, another match is in progress. And it's this man here with the advantage. Ryu Seung-woo of Korea up against Carl Boyes of England. Ryu looking to attempt to fly the Korean flag into the round of 16. He is their only survivor thus far. And Boyes looking to join Darryl Peach to make it 2 English representatives in the last 16. And keep the healthy European contingent afloat. Right now it's advantage
Thank you, rack
Korea.
10. Francisco Bustamante to break, leading by 5 racks to 4.
But we're not going to be focusing on that match because we've got a real humdinger brewing up here. The question is, how long can Bustamante keep his streak going? Vandenberg's ended at 4. Bustamante has now put up 5.
Yeah, and the previous rack showed that he figured out how to break, and the thing is, he's breaking the ball slightly harder. So less chance that this path to the one ball is going to be blocked.
Or is it?
I don't think it is. I think he can make this ball with a slight swerve shot, perhaps.
Is there the risk of a scratch off the one?
No, he can draw this towards short rail.
Oh yes, there you go.
Underneath,
Ooh,
great shot.
he's avoided the traffic as well.
What can you do?
Well,
Nick is waiting patiently.
what do you do in that situation? You were there yourself. I mean, how do you stay mentally into the game?
Well, at least Nick, his game has started off. I mean, he has had a good inning, so he has to expect maybe 2-3 racks and then hope to get another chance.
What do you do? Do you look at the other guy? Do you watch what's going on? Do you worry that he's making a lot of shots, or do you just try to switch off from everything and think about music or anything?
If I'm really into it in a good way, I try to play along with my opponent. It was close. I've tried to play along with my opponent and then visualize me shooting shots, so I keep my arm warm. If I'm too tense, I try to go to a happy place. I go jogging on the beach or think about my children, something nice, or my wife. But if negative thoughts creep in, you have to fight them with positive thoughts. You have to wait for your chance and be ready when it comes. Even as it might seem unlikely when this man is at the table. I remember the first time that I played Django was in the Munich Open in '97. The first time I played him, I did not look. Because I couldn't look at him and stay positive. At that time he really was playing well.
Efren Reyes is another that's had that effect on people down the years as well. Well, hasn't done much wrong, has he? Maybe it's 4 that he got out of that. That's it.
A tough 4-ball, yes, and he was even unlucky with the big roar of applause we heard. It's just the one mistake is so crucial in this stage of the tournament, with the winner break format. And an in-form Bustamante. But I'm sure a chance will come. And Nick has to have this hope as well and stay focused.
Rack 11. Francisco Bustamante to break, leading by 6 racks to 4.
Well, you posed the question at the start of this match, Alex. How does Bustamante cope with this weight of expectation? Yes, it's wonderful to play in front of a home crowd, but they're also willing you on to win. Now, that creates a different kind of pressure. I think we're seeing the answer. He's thriving on it at the moment.
Well, it's a big thing. Efren is the king. The king is getting a little older, though. And a new generation of young Filipino players is coming up, so Django is not snookered, but he does not have an open shot. But so Django really, it's his time maybe.
Yeah. With Reyes gone again, and as you say, you wonder if the best years might be behind the great man. But with the young pups coming up so fast, the window of opportunity for Bustamante might not be that wide open. This could be as good as any year for him. When you look at the draw, a lot of big names have gone. If he can get through Paglia Lion in the next round, well, probably the winner of that match will probably be the favourite. Lovely shot.
Great shot. So this is the chance in the game of 9-ball. This is that one chance you might get in the match. The one kick shot. Oh, this beautiful shot by him.
Well, there you go, Nick. No pressure or anything, but your opponent's just put 6 in a row together. So you've got to make this one count.
He's looking at kicking into the long rail, because if he then hits the 1-ball on either side, the 6, 9, 8, 3, and 7 might come in handy as a blocker.
This momentum thing's funny, isn't it? I mean, Berg spent virtually the first half hour of this match at the table, and I spent hardly any of it at the table in the second half hour. I mean, whoever can grab this table really does have a chance to do some damage.
Okay, Nick is choosing to hit the short roll first, then he's going to need to hit the 1-ball hard, because he wants either one of the balls to come back into the jungle.
He's hit it hard. Oh, is he going to get anything out of it? Well, they're close together, but I think Bustamante might have enough to work with here.
Oh, he definitely is. Unlucky for Nick. He hit that ball good, and like I said, the way if you hit the short rail, like he did, you need one of the balls to get back down table.
Instead, they cozied up together. Everybody smiling. Even Nick managed a little grin.
See, Bustamante's positional play is not perfect. He gets out of line slightly here and there, leaving himself a little longer or on the wrong side of the ball. But he comes out with a big stroke time and time again. These Pinoys, they play with so much feel, so much heart.
A little kiss on the brown won't bother him too much. The 4 is there for the taking, and should be able to get position onto the 6 from this. He's lucky. He's very lucky indeed.
Strange shot. I thought
It was.
he could avoid. He was sweating this shot. He's risking with the side pocket, flirting with the side pocket and with the 7-ball. I thought he could draw straight towards center table.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the cue ball to go there. I must admit, he got very fortunate.
And it shows you he has not settled down. He's not comfortable.
Still another rack to Django, and this is becoming a habit, a good habit if you're a Bustamante fan. 7-4 he leads, and that magic number 10 is getting closer.
Thank you. Rack 12, Francisco Bustamante to break, leading by 7 racks to 4.
You'd think, Alex, by the law of averages, your good friend is going to get another chance. But we're at a point of the match that if that chance comes, boy, has he got to turn it into some racks.
Yes, and he had a chance last rack. A kick shot. Made a good hit. No positive results, so now he has to sit and hope for Django to either get unlucky or to make a mistake.
And the glimmer of hope that he's got is, as you say, in that last rack, Bustamante did play an ill-advised shot, shall we say, that he didn't need to make. Got away with it. But maybe signs that he's not exactly flowing freely at the moment.
But what I found out in the pool rooms the last week is that the Filipino players, sometimes they play ill-advised shots, but they make it.
Well, yes.
They play with so much heart here. Nice kiss on the 6. Can leg the 4 ball in, play position for the 5 in the side pocket. He would like to have an angle to drift towards the 8 ball. Otherwise he has to draw back and shoot the 6 past the 8 ball into the long corner pocket. And this is the first textbook perfect rack by Django Bustamante. What a deadly game this 9-ball is. The one shot that Nick missed is proving oh so costly. Ever since then, it's one-way traffic.
It's a game, somebody once said to me, it'll drive you crazy if you let it. Don't think too much about it, because it'll drive you mad. You can never master it, can you? Something will always come along. You know, we're looking at a Bustamante procession here to 8-4, but you don't know what's lying in store in the next rack. Well, these fans don't care. They're living for the moment. And every time you hear that big cheer, it means Francisco Bustamante has moved a little bit nearer to the magic number. And the closer he gets, the more relaxed that cueing arm is going to get.
Well, not necessarily so. When the finish line comes close, you tend to tighten up, even if your name is
Rack
Francisco
13,
Bustamante.
Francisco Bustamante to break, leading by 8 racks to 4.
Well, 2 more breaks like that. That last one. And this one will be history.
I haven't seen Bustamante play like this and look like this, his demeanor, in a long time. In a long time. 2 racks away from proceeding to the last 16.
The wing ball has gone down again. Good spread. If he can put this one away, this looks like another one for Django.
Good break. Kiss on the 1 ball, but this requires an even thinner cut than in the previous rack. He has to put check side on the cue ball, make it travel back and forth. This is far from easy. Far from easy, and he got a roll. Well, no, he did not get a roll. He missed it, and this is Nick's chance.
This is what you've been saying for the last 15 or 20 minutes. He is going to get an opportunity. That was a tough one. That was always going to be the tough shot on this rack. And he didn't make it in and out of the jaws. And Nick Vandenberg knows this may be the one and only chance he gets. He's got to convert this into at least 3 or 4 racks, if not more.
People at home might wonder how Django can miss a shot like that he even can miss balls. But the shot was hard. A thin cut, playing with check side on a brand new cloth, new balls, and he has now to think about his shot. It's a mistake. And Nick, when he was seated in his chair, always looked positive, never looked frustrated.
He's left himself a little bit of work to do here.
And that's the thing, if you have sat in your chair for 10-15 minutes, you feel like picking up the same rhythm of play, but
oh, this is a big shot. Not only have you got to make sure of the pot, you've got to get position on that 5 ball. It's a shot you would expect to make in normal circumstances.
they play this with little English, if any. Great shot. Great shot. Cheated the pocket, but he hit the cue ball low, put a lot of spin in, so he could play a softer stroke.
And by an extraordinary coincidence, there was another huge cheer just as Vandenberg lined up a tricky shot. I think if there was any skullduggery around, Michaela Tad would have jumped on that pretty quickly, so I think it is just nothing more sinister than an amazing coincidence.
Nick is playing a little quicker here. Wants to put the pressure on Francisco. Shouldn't rush though. I like the tempo that he was playing with before. So mate is 9.
Well, there is something going on an outside table still. So the crowd is innocent. That was harder than it needed to be.
Please,
that was much harder than it needed to be.
Thank you.
And you see what happened? Nick sat in his chair for 10-15 minutes and he lost his rhythm. He came back to the table and he was rushing his tempo. Mishit the 8 ball, out of position on the 9. Still very makeable. But Django put pressure on the Dutch guy and it has paid off.
And if Bustamante puts this down, that will go down as the shot that broke Nick Vandenberg's resistance. He needed this one, and he had it too. And Bustamante snatched it away from him, and it's going to take an awful lot to come back from this. Bustamante's on the hill. Terrific stuff.
Thank you. Rack 14, Francisco Bustamante to break, leading by 9 racks to 4.
Funny things happen, as Alex Lely just said, and funny things do happen in this game. And Nick Vandenberg needs one of those funny things to happen right here, right now. Because if this is another one of those A-list breaks from Bustamante, well, you'll hear it from the crowd.
Snookered on a 2 ball.
Yeah, he didn't want the one going down. They cheered the one going down, and they needed it to stay up. That's a total eclipse. And that is a lifeline thrown to a drowning man right there.
If the 2 is makeable, you will need to play it with a lot of left-hand spin.
Is it makeable though?
He is now looking at coming off of the rail, hitting the 2 ball and behind the 8 and spinning behind the 6 ball with the cue ball. That's a well, he has to weigh his options here.
Yeah, he's got to really think about this one, hasn't he?
Well, Nick van den Berg here, and Bustamante was looking at this shot coming off of the 2 ball because he placed his hand here and checked out if he could send the 2 ball towards that spot. Well, this was a nice lesson in University 9 ball, but he chose another option. He doesn't want to risk it here. And there is Mrs. Bustamante. She's been there before, like you said, but this is, you know, it's getting pretty heated, this situation, although the score...
No, cancelled.
He's changed his mind.
Let's see if
Did he see your telestration, I wonder? Oh, oh, oh.
That's the shot he tried to play. Did get the safety.
Well, there's one
Frozen ball.
frozen ball sitting in the jaws. There is a way out of this.
And this is how matches turn around. Here we can see his try once more. He gets rewarded for playing offensively, and that's what 9 ball is about. You can only get lucky if you try to make something happen.
Well, this, it goes without saying, is a shot Nick van den Berg has to make.
And I think the 3 ball is in the way of a natural path for the cue ball. Bustamante is checking things out. Nick needs 1 rail to get to the 2 ball. This is how matches turn around, by shots like these.
If that 3 is in the way, is there a chance of cheating off the second rail?
Well, he has little margin, 2 ball being so deep in the pocket. He's gonna hit it hard, stun it to make it come out of the short rail straighter.
Missed it, and that's it.
Ball shot, ball in hand.
Not his night. All Bustamante has to do now is get position, and Nick can start unscrewing the cue. Wasn't easy, but it's been the tiny little margin like that that's been the difference between them. Nick's had a couple of tough shots to make that he's not been able to pull off. Bustamante's had a couple of tough ones that he's managed to dig out. It's been a closer match than a 10-4 scoreline would suggest in many ways.
Yeah, definitely. Winner break format.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's
innings take longer than just one break.
Do you believe that?
He took his eye off the ball. He was thinking about winning this match. Come on, Nick.
He was planning the celebration.
I remember when Bustamante was up, I believe 9-6 against Thorsten Homan when the World Championships were still held in Cardiff, and he missed a 5 ball in the winning rack. That's when Thorsten Homan won that match and became the new world champion. Come on, Nick.
That's unbelievable.
That's 9 ball.
You did say it, didn't you, at the start of this rack? Funny things happen, but who would have thought Francisco Bustamante, of all people, would have literally taken his eye off the ball like that. That 3 ball, if he loses this match, will haunt him for months.
As did his loss against Thorsten in 2003 it was.
And it is not impossible for Nick van den Berg to come back out of this. Bustamante's put 9 racks in a row together. And doesn't he know it?
He's getting deja vus.
And what van den Berg's got to do now is go back to that tempo he started the match at. I think if you can psychologically think to yourself, this is 0-0 again. Don't think, oh, I'm 9-4 down and I can't afford to make a mistake. Just take each shot as it comes, and that's where the mental toughness will come in.
Yeah, just shot for shot.
Easier said than done, of course.
And he doesn't have to run 6 racks in a row, although I'd like that. He can run 3, play safety, assuming he's going to make a ball on every break. Too much of an angle. Follow the cue ball straight. Going around the angles here. Great shot. A lot of authority in that stroke.
Boy, this could be a cruel game. I'm sure van den Berg must feel like he's got a reprieve here from a sentence of execution. I mean, this match was finished. It was an easy run out for Bustamante. Instead, he lets the 3 bounce around the jaws, and Nick van den Berg can take his first rack in nearly an hour's play. If you were planning an early night, forget about it. This one's not over, and who would leave this one now? And he's just got to sit and think about a red 3 ball and what on earth happened on that shot. There was just no degree of difficulty in it, Alex. That's the thing. It wasn't a tricky, awkward one that required a bit of this, that, and the other. It was there to be put down.
And that's exactly the reason why he missed it. He was there. He had ball in hand on the 2 ball, in perfect shape on the 3 afterwards. This is it, he thought. That was it.
Rack 15, Nick van den
He
Berg
let
to break,
Nick van den
trailing
Berg
by
in.
9 racks to 5.
And what's 5 racks with a soft breaking table? If only Nick can manage to refine his rhythm.
Oh dear.
Whoa, no.
You know, sometimes you might just get the feeling it's not going to be your night.
Well, I think it's too early to say that.
But just when you needed something to go your way, that happens. That's tough.
But if he wins this rack, maybe the next 3, 4,
Yeah.
it's going to be runouts.
Jumpable into the side? Or too close?
Well, if jumpable, he's not able to reach it. The jump itself is makeable, but he's lining up for a kick shot now, but that's I don't like that.
He does, of course, have the push-out option.
The only thing, if he plays a kick, the 4, 7, 6, and 9, they're so together that they might be blocking either one of the balls. If he can manage to send the cue ball or the 1 ball towards them. Whoa! Whoa! Why not making the 1? Oh, he's been around long enough that misses on the 3-ball like he did, change matches around. And even being down 4 games, the momentum is totally at Nick's hand now.
Interested to see Bustamante's reaction there. He was literally ready to get out of his chair, and he just had to put the towel down and sit back. He can't get back up to his table fast enough, Bustamante, get that taste out of his mouth. So it really is in Nick Vandenberg's best interest in every which way to stay at that table and keep his opponent stuck in his seat.
Tucking his shirt in, making sure to not foul.
He's gone back to his old tempo, hasn't he? This is how he started the match.
This is how he can keep it up for a long time. Earlier this year he ran 293 balls in straight pool. Straight pool is all about concentration. He can do this. Don't get enthusiastic. Don't think about winning. It's a long way to go still. One ball at a time. I'm sure if we ask Francisco about his miss on the 3-ball after this match, whatever the outcome is going to be, he'll refer to the missed 5-ball against Thorsten Homan. There's a Filipino fly there,
yep,
bothering little Nick.
Bustamante has sent in the insect brigade.
It's got a death wish, isn't it?
It's a persistent little thing, isn't it? But not even a well-trained Filipino fly can come between Nick Vandenberg and his 6th rack of the match. Well, well, well. This one's getting more interesting by the rack. It should be over. It's far from it. Bustamante on the hill, but can he get over the hump? 6, 9-5, comfortably up and running. He nearly blew it. Meanwhile, let's go on to one of those outside tables. When we left Carl Boys of England, he was trailing 8-6 against Ryu Seung-woo of Korea. But as you can see, Boys, the one-time 8-ball specialist, has managed quite a comeback. And a victory here, and you know it's coming, will set up a round of 16 match against Konstantin Stepanov of Russia. Tremendous comeback from Carl Boyce, the second Englishman through to the round of 16. He joins Darryl Peach of Blackpool. Both of those two men will be involved in all European battles. It means we're guaranteed 2 Europeans through to the quarterfinals. There it is, Carl Boyce against Konstantin Stepanov, with Satoshi Kawabata, or the other Bustamante, ahead in the quarterfinals. So we've got definitely 2 Europeans
Nick Vandenberg to break, trailing by 9 racks to 6.
into the quarters, and the possibility of 6 if everybody were to win through from the continent. That's unlikely, but Vandenberg showing some fight here, trying to fill that spot to take on Alex Pagulayan in the next round. There's the soft break.
He was unlucky in the last rack. His path to the 1-ball was blocked. Took his chances, showed some guts, made the 1 and cleared up. And now things are going his way. Positive plays rewarded, just like Bustamante taking on the safety in what should have been his winning rack. Then Nick, the kick shot on the 1-ball. And I don't see any problems, but the problem here that it's 9-6 down in a race to 10 for a place in the last 16. It's hard enough as it is.
Four and the 8 are close together, but I think there's enough daylight there that all he's got to do is play for position. I don't think he needs to develop that. So it's up to him. Join up the dots, and he'll be breaking again.
Tricky position though. He wants to put draw on the cue ball, but he's quite close to the rail, and he has an angle on that too. So he needs a smooth stroke to make the cue ball grab the spin and avoid the 6.
Little kiss on the 6, but he's okay.
Well, the kiss on the 6 made him kiss the 9, and it even opens up the table more. And the thing is to stick with the program here. Don't take anything for granted, especially not the 3-ball, which has been taken for granted before in this match.
Extra care required with that one. I think that 3-ball has got both these players' attentions. Perfect positional shot. Bringing it back for the 4. If he just makes sure he's got a sight of that 5-ball, we'll be going into another rack.
Do nothing more than needed. He has to bridge over the 9-ball though. He'll drag this ball, play with low English. A trace of right hand side to go towards the 6, but he has to make sure to leave an angle. And he has. Just the 8 balls across table. Not makeable in the side pocket. Nothing fancy needed here. Low left, medium stroke. Great shot.
And a bit of angle to play with too. You didn't have any plans for tonight, Alex, did you? We may be here a while.
Well, I might have a drink if he clears up 2 more racks after this one. 3 more. Because after this 9-ball would be 9-7.
That 3-ball continues to dance around in the recesses of Francisco Bustamante's mind. It's all getting a bit too close for comfort, isn't it? He should be back in the family home with his wife and his kids now, Francisco Bustamante. Instead, he's locked in his seat. And there is nothing he can do about this. That was another impressive break and run out from Nick Vandenberg. And it's getting closer.
Bustamante has made a great shot twice to get into the game, but I'm not sure if he's going to make another one of those if he gets back to the table, because he's really feeling it now.
Rack 17, Nick Vandenberg to break, trailing by 9
But he has to
racks
stay
7.
positive. We've talked about it. He has to be patient, and if ever a chance comes, he has to be ready.
But how do you stay positive after a miss like that?
And exactly.
And you look at his body language in the chair, Alex. He is suffering in front of our eyes. But as you so rightly say, if his chance comes, he's got to be ready. No point in feeling sorry for yourself. Does that pink 4 come and obscure the pot? It's very tight.
Concerned looks from people in the stands. And is the 4-ball in the way? If it is, we will see Nick taking on this jump shot.
2 ball is bracketed between the 3 and the 9. So even if you get the shot, there's a lot of things could go wrong for position on the 3 if you know, or for the 2 if you're not very careful with it. Does that pass? Yes, it does.
Perfect, and a 2 ball goes towards the side pocket.
Yep, he's got it. There's a lane to be threaded there.
If the 4 passes the 6, which it does, I think, it's all about this shot. If he sets himself up well for the 3 ball, it's a roadmap. Actually, there's no roadmap now.
Here's that 3 ball.
And he looks great. He's playing in the same manner that he started the match off with. And if he sets himself up straight on the 6, he can play a stop shot and then play the 7 in the side pocket. No problems to be solved. Not much traveling needed for the cue ball. Is to keep his cool.
The tempo is so reminiscent of those first 4 racks. But I'm sure no one needs to tell Nick van den Berg that 4 racks here isn't going to be good enough. He needs 6. If he takes this one, that will be 4. He's got to find 2 more after this. But if you can just do this, turn it into 9-8 and breaking, you've got to fancy your chances.
1 game at a time, 1 ball at a time. Set up perfectly for the 7. Great play, and Bustamante must be kicking himself. He was up 9-4, and all of a sudden it's 9-8. And Nick's still at the table, and he'll be breaking, trying to leveling the score at 9 apiece.
Where would you rather be right now? On the hill, but in your chair? Well, Francisco Bustamante sitting and dwelling on this. Unbelievable. Doesn't matter how many times you see that, from how many different angles, you say to yourself, how on earth did Francisco Bustamante leave that on the table? 6 balls from victory, and none of them difficult. And there he is.
Rack 18, Nick van den Berg to break, trailing by 9 racks to 8.
On the hill and in his chair, but van den Berg at the table, poised possibly to join Bustamante on the hill. Put everything on hold again. No time for a dry break.
Right, thank you.
Unbelievable.
That's
we heard
enough.
Bustamante there. This is his chance.
Is it going to be the reprieve for Bustamante? No wing ball this time. And there's a good spread of balls. From a Dutch perspective, this doesn't look good.
A lot of work to do though for Bustamante. Did he stay positive in his chair? And will Nick stay positive, waiting for an eventual possible next visit to the table. Bank shot for Bustamante. Watch out for the 7. For the 6.
He's got away with it. Got away with it. The position on the 3 ball is big. Don't tell me that 3 ball is going to come and bite Bustamante on the backside again.
Great bank, hit with a lot of authority. Good choice to hit it that firm. You don't want to baby bank shots.
Now, the 2 goes. Where does that cue ball end up? So
well,
3 ball.
Towards the 4 ball. Get close to the 4. Oi! Oi! Oi!
He doesn't need to be there.
Last midnight. And what a match this is.
Does he get away with it?
He has a
I
shot.
think he does.
I think he has a shot.
That was a heart stopper.
A lot of pressure here. Cube on the rail, you don't want that, especially because he needs to force this shot. I would think his route is to go in between the 6 and 7 after contacting the long rail, or in between the 5-7. Oh, great shot. Great shot.
Well, it looks like Bustamante's going to get a reprieve here. Not much Van den Berg can do about it now. Didn't get the luck of the break. What a time to come up dry.
Oh, and that's the thing with breaking soft. When you do not make a ball, you feel so like you didn't give it your all. And what a great shot by Bustamante.
I don't think you can rely on Bustamante to mess up twice. If he does, he doesn't deserve to win. And he's not letting this go again. But nobody's going to quite relax until that 9 ball's gone.
What a match this has been.
Oh, it's been a good one, hasn't it?
Nail biter.
Just when you thought it was all over, it wasn't. We think it's all over now, but is it?
Drawback 10 inches.
It's close now. I think the only person that can stop Francisco Bustamante right now is Francisco Bustamante himself, and surely he's got himself together again.
And that's the one. 3 balls.
Well, sometimes you just have to get past a very big roadblock to win a world championship. I wonder if Bustamante will be looking back on this one as the one he got away with.
Great performance by Nick Van den Berg. A great performance by Bustamante, showing a lot of mental strength. And it looks like he will carry the Filipino hopes to the last 16.
Alex, I think you and I ought to stop talking for a moment or two, because no one's going to hear us anyway. The towel came in. Great stuff. It was the right result as far as these fans are concerned. And this fella, who is so popular not only here in the Philippines but all around the world, such a happy-go-lucky character, very generous person, made an awful mistake. It could have cost him everything. He got a reprieve. He got away with it. You got to feel some sympathy for Nick Van den Berg, who did very little wrong in this one. But when the pool gods say it's going to be your night, they are not to be denied. They teased and tormented Bustamante for a little while there, but they let him through for a mouth-watering matchup in the round of 16. Who's going to want to miss that one? Francisco Bustamante against Alex Pagulayan. Book early to avoid disappointment. That is going to be the match of this year's World Pool Championship so far. Well, Django has collected his thoughts. Let's hear about those thoughts now. He's with Georgina.
All right, Django, what a moment, what a match you gave your fans. Made them so nervous. Now, trailing 0-4, you came up 9-4, and then you missed that 3. What did you think when Nick came and broke and run?
Well, you know, when I missed the 3 balls, and I thought I gonna get a shot no more because it's easy break, you know, and everything is control. And then I was decided, oh my God, I think when he was the score is 8-9, I think is
See you next year.
yeah, I think see you next year, and I got no more chance, and I got lucky. He don't make a ball in the break, you know.
So in that dry break that he did you know this was your opportunity to win the match and get into the final 16?
Well, you know, it's very lucky to be in the last 16, and I hope continue my game, you know, and I try all my best.
Okay, well, all your fans very happy to see you. Go on to the next round.
I gonna play the small guy.
The small guy.
Yeah, Alex Pagulayan. Yeah.
That'll be a fun match. What can we expect to see? Because your fans, they won't know who to choose.
Well, you know, it depends. Especially they have still Filipino in the quarter. You know, so we very happy. Even me and Alex who gonna win. You know, just we still a good friend.
Okay, well, I think the fans are very happy with us. You, Alex, in the next round. It's still gonna be a Filipino. So all the best. We'll see you next round. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, back to you, Uday. Quick.